Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. We got Jan and Jules with us, as is Craig. It's weird today because me and Craig are in the studio together, but because of the way they've set things up in the forward box, I've got to look at the camera and not look at you, Craig.
Well, don't look at me.
Well, I'm just saying, it's weird, look.
No, don't look at me.
I can't throw things at you, that's all right. OK, Jan, first question. This is a beauty for you. Why do you hate and resent giving United transfer news with some kind of joy and sound way more excited when giving Chelsea news?
That is a very good question, and I try to explain that very slowly for people who don't understand that. Because there are something called news, and then there are something called good news. So don't kill the messenger. So if Dortmund say we won't sell him, and Manchester United say we're going to buy him, then you have to listen to both parties. And most of people on Twitter, they're just listening to one partner, or one follower, or one journalist in England. And in Germany, nobody speaks about Sancho to Manchester United. Maybe tomorrow when we wake up, Ed Woodward has gone over there with 120 million euros to buy Sancho. Fantastic Manchester United if you do that. But till then, there are no news.
But why do you revel in it so much? You seem to enjoy Manchester United fans suffering, Jan.
No, because Chelsea was quite easy, because Chelsea got great negotiators. They talk to clubs, they make it quiet, and suddenly they sign a player. Manchester United use some of their time, I guess, negotiating, and then spinning it, and then talking to people, and then they're going after Gareth Bale, and it's probably the next one now is Griezmann, because Griezmann is, or Schneider was the main man. He was always linked to Manchester United.
Yep.
Get on with it, get people like Bruno Fernandes, fantastic signing, they got him in. It's better to buy players than talk about players.
Craig, which Premier League manager will be the first one to get the sack this season? Oh, thoughts? There we go.
David Moyes.
David Moyes. Who do you think, Jules?
Yeah, I think I have to agree with Craig. I mean, I thought Craig was going to say Jose Mourinho, which would have been quite funny, and I think he is quite funny to say that maybe he could be the first one. However, more realistically, I think Moyes could be in trouble, especially if at some point West Ham get taken over by American investors, like he seems to be a possibility. I think Slaven Bilic at West Brom, although he did really well in the Championship, maybe has to be careful, and maybe even Scott Parker at Fulham too. But I would go for Moyes as my number one choice.
Do you think he would sack? Would Levy sack?
Mourinho. Yes. I think so.
They were not great at the weekend.
No, they were not.
Wait and see.
They're good at Amazon. That's something.
Eh?
They're good at the reality shows. That is something that gives you a Champions League.
Yeah. You're not going to watch that, are you, Craig?
No.
No.
You made me watch part of it.
I did. I sent you a clip of 2 minutes.
It's enough.
Facts.
Jan, where do Dortmund need to strengthen to take the title this season? Borussia Dortmund against Borussia Mönchengladbach, live on ESPN Plus if you're in the US this weekend. There you are. Little plug.
They need a good striker.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need another Norwegian striker. No, they need to strengthen their heads. They need to. We talked about them not beating Paderborn and all these smaller team. Paderborn not up there anymore. But when they play Bayern Munich, they look like they are playing some of their role models, their favorites. So they need to strengthen their heads. They got a good team. They got a talented team, and they have to make sure now that Can, Witzel, and Hummels and all these players are going into that leader role, because there could be too many kids. And as we said before, you can't win the league with kids. In 1999, they said that. And maybe Dortmund can do it this season, but they need to be mentally stronger. And Favre need to come up with some winning formulas. That is not his strength.
Craig, when fights are beginning to erupt mid-game, why do players engage in them when it's highly likely they'll be red-carded? What was the biggest brawl that you were ever involved with?
We don't really see players engaging with them now. We see players running over and doing nothing.
Yeah, Marseille PSG.
Yeah.
That was quite big of the weekend. What was the biggest brawl you were involved with?
Oh, I saw a few in the training ground. Actually, I saw one in the training ground.
You can look at me now. Look, they got the 2 shot.
I'm choosing not to. I saw one involving Kerry Dixon and a teammate of Jan's, fellow countryman called Erland Johnsen.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was a heavyweight bout. Let's just say that. And
it was a proper fight.
Well, it got fisticuffs, and Dennis Wise was a big mates with Kerry, and he jumped on Erland's back. Not when Erland was, but Erland was walking towards Kerry,
right?
And Wisey was on his back, but Erland, being Erland, strong as an ox, just kept ploughing forward with him on his back. It was just incredible. The 2 big guys. I mean, nice guys.
What started it?
Well, it was training, and Erland, who's a lovely guy, but really does like to kick people.
Okay.
And Kerry took it the wrong way, and they had a heavyweight contest of fisticuffs, of which I was about 19 years old, and I was heading back the way.
I bet.
I didn't want a ringside seat for that. But I saw a few in training as well. And the pitch, we had a big brawl against Leicester one day, and until Aage Akinbaye took his top off, and that was enough.
That was enough.
Everybody run for the hills.
But Dan, I got to tell you, because Alan Johnson was my roommate in the national team, and that story, I hope that Craig will tell it, because Alan told me about that story, and afterwards he was in the shower and he was waiting and he was thinking, how are we going to kill Kerry Dixon? He didn't decide how to do it. Should he use a gun, should he use a knife, or whatever?
Wow.
So in comes Kerry Dixon, he walks into the shower, comes over to Alan and say, nothing personal, huh? Oh, and then it was over.
Wow.
That's what I love about football.
And what about you, Jan? Were you involved in any big brawls?
No, not a big brawls. I love my peace, and I didn't go in there. And no, we had some training incidents. I remember in one club, I won't tell you the name of the club or the player, but I remember then we went on in the dressing room as well. And the problem is with the English football players, I think they learn in school how to break noses. So I think that is one of the grades in geography and English. So I knew I had to stay away, so I just stood up and say, no.
Just quickly, I'll just go to quickly while we're on Erland Johnsen. Erland was, as you know, Jan, he's such a nice guy, but when we used to go on the odd night out with all the players, which was quite infrequent in London because of the size, more than once he would have too many beers, Erland, and he was never a big drinker, but he'd have a few beers. And then a couple of times he threw a punch at Kevin Hitchcock or one of the lads. Just I don't know what happened. It was just beer. And Erland would come in the next day, and he'd always come in the next day and go, another embarrassing evening. And it would be like forgotten.
And that was it, because
but he'd always come in, all the boys would be sitting and he'd go, another embarrassing evening. Brilliant, great guy. Great.
Does Jules think Mbappe and Camavinga could end up at Madrid next summer?
Yeah, of course, it's a possibility, of course. I mean, they will need to have saved a lot of money from not spending in this transfer window, because both of them will cost them a lot of money, but why not? I think it would be really, I mean, we know how much Kylian Mbappe wants to one day play for Real Madrid, so I think this one is pretty much sorted if they can afford him. And for Camavinga, I think if Real Madrid's project that they offer him, because there will be a lot of clubs after him and a lot of projects be presented to him, but if he likes the project at Real Madrid, if he thinks that he will play and keep improving and developing and everything, then I think it's also a big possibility. But again, and Mbappe will cost them 250 million euros, Camavinga will cost them 100 million euros, and that's just for the transfer fees. So, let's hope that they can save their money and then spend it all next summer to try to get them to. Otherwise, it's impossible.
Can you imagine, boys, next summer, the Mbappe maybe will like to leave. Erling Haaland in Dortmund got his clause, who starts next summer. Can you imagine how that's going to be an intense summer?
Yeah, but you'll still be talking about Jadon Sancho.
It's
I
true.
will. I will. And the Instagram account of Arsenal when they present him.
Is Frank Lampard the right man for Chelsea, Jules? I don't think that after last night's performance he'll last long.
Yeah, I think it's a really good question. Listen, he had a really good season. For his first season last year, I think Chelsea in certain games should have done better. But for a first season coming from him, with the issues that they had with the transfer transfer ban and the young players coming through. I think he did a really good job, very positive job. They lost a lot of games, and again, there were some games, especially at home at Stamford Bridge, where they should have done better. But the pressure is huge now. There's no place for hiding at all. I have to say, I was really disappointed by his tactics at Brighton on Monday night, and I mean, I thought Brighton deserved better than the 3-1 defeat in that game. I was very disappointed where Kai Havertz played. I think it's either you play him in his best position or you don't play him at all, but it was pointless, useless to play him where he played him, because at times Chelsea were playing at 10 against 11. So, I mean, he will have to do better, he knows that, and the team will have to do better than what they showed in that first game. But it was the first game, there's a lot of new players, more will come through, they will need a bit of time to adapt. But I think the pressure on Frank is huge this season, and I really hope that he can cope with it and keep improving and show that he deserves to be there, and he can lead this club to greatness.
Final question for you, Craig. Is it ever frustrating you got this job because you were such an accomplished pro who understands the game, and now you have Dan Thomas telling you you are wrong every day? I tell you you're wrong every day. It's off the back of Firmino and Raul Jimenez yesterday.
Oh, yeah. There's lots of frustrations about this job sometimes, but, you know. We do our best.
We do our best.
You did get a panning with that yesterday.
I did. I was surprised how much of a panning I got, actually. Well, there you go.
Yeah, you boys missed that.
Basically, I suggested that Raul Jimenez could come in and replace Firmino, and everyone shouted at me, Jan.
Yeah, I turned the TV off, to be fair, when you said that.
Yeah, shut up, Jules.
Yeah,
You're supposed to help me. You're one of them. You're not an ex-pro. Fourth division French football doesn't count.
It was one of those.
It counts.
It does not count.
It was one of those sentences that as soon as it came out of his mouth, I think he thought, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Then I thought Frank might back me up for some reason, but then Frank was like, he's the best striker in the world ever.
Well, Frank wanted to still talk about his header at Coventry.
Exactly. Right, that's it. Jan's been here for quite a long time, as have you, Craig. That's it. Your boys are done now. Thank you very much. ESPN FC back on your screens tomorrow. You off tomorrow, Craig?
Yes.
Golf, by any chance?
Twice.
Twice golf, 36 holes. They are lovely. Until next time, bye. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.